February 2nd, and well, there's no one here yet, but still would like to teach the class and yeah, and leave it here available for those who want to watch later. We have just started February, which has been it's been really quick to me, at least. So, yeah, I would like to start painting already. So let me show you what we're going to need and what we're going to do today. So we have here our, let me show you. Let me adjust here the camera. This is what we worked last week. See, and then you will see my how can I say, workout my workout clothes here. So what I want to do today is work out a little bit the center, so we finish painting this middle area, and then we can start doing some dotting. If you remember last week we were painting, we had a disaster with the live session because the camera dropped twice. But let's start painting this area. I was thinking maybe a totally different color, but we actually could do, you will see that we have, let me see if I can, I don't want to move this too much because I really don't want to have the problem that we had last week. So I was thinking maybe starting to paint this middle part, and I'm gonna be taking several colors, and then we can work out some dotting in here. You can see that these petals, we have like an empty space here. So I was planning maybe on repeating this blue color. So I'm gonna get it straight here from the lead. And this brush is not angled. You could use an angled one, and then we could cover like a straight line here. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's okay if it covers the top part of the petals. No worries, because you will be able to see through. What I did from last week till today was to have some extra hands of painting of these parts. It looks that I will need to add some more layers of paint, because some of these parts, these sections are still looking blue. Okay, and what we have to do here is just to follow the circle. Don't worry now if it is not perfect, because when we dot between today and probably next week and the week after, all these details will go on, since we will be dotting. And when we dot is when we do fix all these details that are not perfect. So take your time. We follow here the wheel, and we are going to let it dry. See, before we actually paint our petals. See, we are not painting everything. I just want to paint this top part, and I'm gonna show you very soon why. So I'm gonna be cleaning here my brush, as I showed you before, against the wall of my cup. And yeah, let's work on another layer. When we're not having all these, like how can I say, black and then dotting on top, when we're having like, we paint layers of a mandala, it's important to skip one layer. For example, I'm gonna be skipping this section and I'm going to be painting now this part. And I was thinking maybe on repeating this olive green, and I am using the same brush. You can use an outliner brush and then doing this section here. And at this point, what I want is to use many colors that normally maybe we wouldn't be combining, but in some parts it's important to start repeating. For example, I use this color here, I use this color here. And there are some details when we work out dotting, you will see that there are some details that are important to be aware of and maybe repeat the colors so it makes sense. But if you want to go like all the way, using different colors in every section of your mandala, it's cool as well. So let's paint this part. And something that I would really wanted to address, when you're working out the outer part of the mandala, it's easier to make this shadow effect with sponges. As you move in, you will have less space, so it's better to work the shadow effect with dotting or with your cotton swab. So I'm gonna be taking the time to paint this together here with you guys today, and you will see that it looks that it's gonna take forever, but it won't. So now when I paint, the next layer that I'm going to paint is this one, this section, and I might go in blue again. See, just to have, sorry, I made a mistake here. The paint went over the circle. What we could do when this happens to us is just make wet another brush and you just take this away, see? And it's very easy sometimes to make. For example, this brush is overloaded with paint, that's the problem. So I'm gonna leave some of the paint here, and then I'm going to be just using, this is not an angled one, I could use an angled one and maybe it's gonna be better, but I wanted to show you how it is working with different types of brushes. And of course, maybe in the future we could have other live sessions in which we make this sketch or maybe another different all in black and we dot from a black surface, and that could be cool, but maybe I don't want you to be tired of the mandala of confidence, so maybe another time. So I'm just gonna clean my brush, and this paint is not as liquid as it should be, but I still could use it. If your paint is it has high viscosity, then I would recommend you before doing this just to add some medium flow and also to add a little bit of water, and then you can let it flow. So you see, we are using crazy colors here, but at some point, to have some harmony, it's important to repeat them either in background or in some details. So see, this is pretty cool. Okay, what can we do now? Let me just finish this part. What can we do now? We could, for example, Go in blue with this area. In this case, either you can use an angled brush, or you could use a outliner, and it's gonna be okay. Let me go. I think I'm gonna go for the outliner, and then, for example, this area is really critical. Let's say it has to be really smooth, and we have to try always to keep it very, very precise as much as possible. See, there you go. I think we're gonna do some swoosh here in this area. Also, when this area is wet, we have gotta be careful where we do put our, I think I did a mistake here, our fingers. See, I invaded some of this area and I shouldn't. So I just made wet my my brush, and I am just taking this paint where it should be, or I can clean it up with a cotton swab as well. So I was thinking maybe in the center, do some swooshing here with gold. I think it's gonna look great with gold. And then we can do swooshes over swooshes next week, but this week we're definitely having all the background painted, so we can start having fun by doing next week. You can also tell me, Yossi, painting these mandalas that do not have a black background take much more effort and work. Yes, I think sometimes it's much easier just to have a black background, and it's also time consuming, and it demands a lot of effort, but you can always definitely do this, and will get you a total different effect. Who knows, maybe later in the year we can repeat the exercise by going all the way with black background and dotting from scratches, not painting any color background. And we can compare, of course. So this is fun, or at least I'm having a lot of fun. See, okay. Now that we're done with this section, what we can do is let's start painting the middle with gold color. We can do some swooshes here, and then we can work the flower. We can get to this and hopefully get to some dotting. Let's see how we do. So I have prepared here like a golden color. Let me see, just to it's not yet as smooth it should be when we are swooshing painting. The paint should be slightly more liquid, so we can dry the paint easily. And I like swooshing with skewers and also dotting with skewers. So I'm using these skewers from the supermarket, and what I'm going to do is just to place a big dot here, and most of you already know the drill. We're just going to be dragging the paint, but since I have already previously painted a shape, then I'm gonna be able to do this. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be golden all the time. So my cat was asking for some attention. I see many people from the Doreen community, they enjoy cats very much. It's very lovable. I love dogs too. So the thing is, when you're previously designed the shape of the swoosh, sometimes that helps much more. See, so I'm going to be just putting some of these dots so I can drag the paint in most of them. And I am making sure that when I place the paint, it's like on top here. See, and then we can, when this is next week, that this is going to be fully dried, we can actually have a lot of fun by swooshing on top of this. I think I have a solid element here. See, yeah, sometimes you might think I've never combined this olive green with these colors. How crazy does this look? But in the end you will see that it will be harmonic and it will look really so. Take your time. I love doing this. This is so relaxing. See, we're about to be done here. So imagine just doing this effect in this area with a sponge. It's doable. It's not that you cannot do it, but it's a little bit, how can I say, it's gonna be harder because then you have to leave all the shadow part here and then do the redo or maybe repaint all this area. See, so for the flower I was thinking maybe getting to repeat these colors, this color here, and or we could do, I thinking that it could be better if we have here on top pink, so maybe it would make more sense to have pink here, two different pinks, and then do this flower, no, sorry, the other way around. Sorry, purple here, pink, purple, pink. I think that's the way to go. So let me get some pink here. Let me get here in my color full area. Maybe I could, I have these two colors, they're not Liquitex, but they will do the charm, I think. Let me see this paint here. I have a pink here that I haven't used in a while, and this is recycled paint actually from previous arts, and it's good not to waste colors. So yeah, I think I'm gonna use this one. See, since I have recently painted, okay, I think now it's got the right consistency. Since I have painted this section recently and the gold, I'm gonna skip this layer first and I'm gonna go for this part. See, and this Oh, sorry. I said that I would do, let's do this, since I prepared the paint. When you have painted this area and you're gonna add like another color on top, you can either re-sketch these petals, or you could, it depends on how confident you feel about yourself, or you could just take and redo your petals. See, I think I'm gonna go for this color. You will see that it's clear, it's much more clear. This is, I said it's gonna be purple. So what I'm going to do very quickly first here is to do these petals. And can you see that in the middle of the petals, this might need like a second hand. There's this tiny space. Can you see? It's pretty much like that. So what I'm going to do is just to paint this area. See, it's important. It's okay if the paint that you used on top is much more, how can I say? It's darker. It doesn't matter. See, you can always place a second hand, and then we're gonna be dotting this. And here I am just following my, let's say, I'm following my, totally my inspiration, let's say. Another way to go is just to paint this tiny triangle. It depends on what you want. I am just thinking, if you're not familiar very much with brushes and you don't feel very comfortable working with this, you can always go for re-sketching your petal. See? But what I wanted to do is this effect, and I might need like a second hand of paint here because the paint below has a much more darker. So there we go. See? At some point, many people tell me like, Yossi, I don't know how to combine colors. I really don't know how to do this. What I say is pick 3 or 4 colors and use them in layers. For example, in this occasion, when I started doing this live session, I decided to go for pink here. And you can go and actually go for different colors in every in every space. You can pick a different color. There's no problem or whatsoever with that. But you can repeat them in a sequence. Like, for example, I have yellow here. I could actually have like yellow, and in here I could have purple. See, and then you have some harmony in the colors. See, I have pink, skip this one, pink, and then I might go for yellow and purple. But since I had this paint ready, I decided to go for it. And I didn't say, but I am using an outliner brush, and the paint in the background is I was using the Go Art, these gloss enamels. That's why this looks a little bit glossy. See, and as I was telling to the other day, it's important that you skip layers, that you actually never, for example, we painted now gold in here, we don't paint, and blue in here, we don't paint this immediately. We paint in another place, we let it dry. See? So this situation is, this is like total backstage, artist backstage. I wanted to have this blue background following this, and then for those who didn't join us from the beginning, it's fine, but I did like one layer of this paint that is actually a stronger color than the pink one that I am using now, and it's okay because we can always have like 2 or 3 hands of paint. And another thing that I was reinforcing here is that when you have difficulties to choose colors, you always have to pick maybe 3 or 4, and then you repeat them. For example, I believe last week when I started painting these parts with yellow, with olive green, it wouldn't make any sense at all with blue. I mean, crazy colors. What is this girl doing? But what is this lady doing? But in the end, if you repeat the sequence, we have pink here, blue, now pink and blue, and in here inside we might go for yellow, and see, this is gonna be a harmonic view on your mandala. Today we are still going to be creating some dotting here, some dotting in the border. So next week we're gonna have a hard dotting time, working time here. It's gonna be fun, but we're gonna focus on dotting. So today I really would like to finish painting the background. So you will see that this still doesn't look as good as it should because we need to wait a little for it to dry before we actually add a second layer of paint. There we go. Now I am going to be using a little bit of yellow here. We have to see. Look how I am trying to find with I put my hand like this when I cannot press here because the paint is fresh. See, we can go here for yellow. And we keep doing this tiny triangle here in yellow, and I think yellow goes so well. I love the combination of yellow and purple. They do very, very good together. See? And you can always rotate to feel more comfortable. This area, for example, yellow, it's a lighter color than other colors, so you might need to reinforce a little the yellow with extra layers of paint. See, this is actually pretty quick. I am using an outliner. And I was saying that painting this way, instead of having like a black background and dotting on top, it's a lot of of work, but it's a lot of fun too. Now let me get a purple color. Where are my purples? I think I have a purple that I love from, just one second. Yeah, this from Folk Art. This is a great color to use in here. See, to check the consistency. I need to be very careful because I cannot put my finger on top of this pink area. See? So this is gonna be a first layer of paint. And you will see that when we paint all the dots and the dot that we're going to do, and when we paint all the details, this composition is gonna really make sense. And we're really going to paint, so it's when we paint like this, it's extra work because you have to make like the whole background before you can actually have fun with the dots. That is the last part. But it's gonna be totally worth it. See, this color is perfect purple. To me, is actually really perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I just love it. I'm taking the risk here because I said not to paint immediately here. I just painted the yellow and I'm adding some of this color here, but it's gonna look very nice. And before we actually, if you need to paint, apply like an extra hand, you need to wait at least half an hour. For example, I'm not gonna be able to give the second hand to these petals here in the live session. I'm gonna have to do it off camera, but there's no problem. You can also do it. See? So now you can see the sequence, right? It's like you can repeat the color you have here. I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I did in the Spanish session yesterday, because I'm using 4 different sets of colors. I'm not planning the work ahead. I'm just doing as I feel in the right here, right now, with you guys who are watching this now and those who will watch later. See? See, so now, of course, I haven't painted this part yet, but if you go for this color palette and you paint all your lotuses using these colors, you'll be fine. So what about some dotting work? I think we need to do some dotting here. Then I am going to start working on this one because it's the one that is ready, these 2 guys. And I was thinking outlining these. When we do outline this border, I always want to make sure that I have dots like in the inner part of this curve. This is important, see? And that they are as parallel as possible. This one too, and this one too. It's important to have dots. Let me see if I can get a closer view. Let me get you without risking it. Like last week, my camera dropped so many times, you have no idea. So I always also, maybe this is for those who want to paint fast. I really don't paint fast at all. I like taking my time. So for all your arabesques, what I would recommend to do is that you take your time. We're gonna do just one today, and then I'm gonna be dotting one of the lotuses. See that you can fully feel these, and that you place your dot right in the middle. See, right in between the two paints, because this is how you cover any imperfection you might have in the outline. And this is the part I like. I do like taking my time to do. I don't rush. See, these are same size dots. I just want to make sure. I'm going to sacrifice speed for more precision. See, and then I just loaded, oh my god, this is not good. Loaded my paint with a lot of paint, so I could do many dots, but this one has like a tiny solid thing that I couldn't see. But when it dries, it's gonna come down. So yeah, the idea would be to have here on top same size dots, one along the other. See, but you can actually see the curve, and it has to be right in the middle. We gotta make sure it is right in the middle. Otherwise, people will be able to see any issues with the outline. See, and for example, in here, it's important to work out the consistency of your paint first, so your dots don't get together. See here, I loaded my tool with a lot of paint so I can press equally to create same size dots. There we go. Then we could do another layer with bigger dots. For example, we could load more paint, and we could do, let me see, bigger dots here. I just have to make sure, I gotta be really careful, cautious, that this is as symmetric as possible. And when I get to the corner, also that I have this shape, because you will see that I will do like a second. For example, I don't think this is really parallel with this one, so I'm gonna take it away very carefully. And then I'm going to create a dot that is, see, because I'm going to do inside also another arabesque. So now I go down, I go with a curve, V shape here. See, like, and when I come here, see, I have 1, 2, 3 dots. Then I count to the other side too. That I have 1, 2, 3 dots. and one that comes along with this one. It's important to keep checking these details because this is what is gonna get us a better shape on the inside. And then we check here. Now I'm gonna go this way. So I make one, I make another one here. I don't paint very quick. I take my time to compare. So I have 1, 2, 3 here. So I need to have space here for a couple of more dots. One. This one came a little bit fatter than the rest. See. And what am I gonna do now with this? I'm going to do, I'm gonna whisk it up, and I'm gonna make, without outlining anything, I'm gonna start from here, and I'm going to do an inner arabesque. 1, 2, 3, 4, like a tiny curve here, and here, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's important that they keep parallel. And from here, I'm gonna reinforce this dot, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, you can see the curve here. If you have a white watercolor or cream watercolor, you can make this shape before. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, and I get parallel one another. I can do more tiny, try to do same size tiny dots till I get here. They are like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I reinforce this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe another one. And then I'm going to start from here, making same size dots. See. This is a start from homework, I would say. There's a lot of homework from me and for you guys because I'm gonna be doing this in all the yellow sections. See, this is how it's gonna look. And in this area, we could always, we could leave it for next week, this area in here, see? And I was thinking, let me see how, maybe I'll do a little bit in here. We will finish dotting. Let's do something here so we have more to do this week. For example, in this green area, I was thinking maybe of doing, you can calculate more or less a straight line here. I was thinking maybe of doing some golden swooshes here over the greens, and just to do also dots on top, swooshes on top of swooshes. We could do something like this, just a shape like this, and then we could do other details here. Maybe we could add like 1, 2, and we're gonna let it dry because next week we are going to be making dots over dots. So if you could do this, it could be cool. And for the sake of, we could do the same here with pink at the same height here. We do a straight one. See? And then a little bit separate, so it has to be more or less at the same height of this one and at the same height of this one in here. Just do this. And do this, and 1, 2 dots here, 1, 2 dots, and in here we go parallel. We need to be as parallel as possible. 1, 2, 3. See? We could do this. So it starts making sense, right? And also, for example, we could go a little bit pinky here. We could do some outlining here only on this petal. This side has space for one more. And then in here we could just do super tiny pink dots. To outline this part. See? We can count also 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a small part. And then these two petals, they are quite together, so yeah, don't press much. See, it's very tiny. It's actually very tiny, but it's really beautiful. I think how in the end I start doing this work, and I never know how the mandala will go, but in the end the results are always really nice. So see, you can do teeny tiny colors, teeny tiny dots, and you will still be able to see each petal, and you will not lose the effect we did last week with cordon swirl. See? To do these tiny dots, I'm not sure if you get to see how tiny these dots are, but I'm just going to put the camera like that. I'm doing skewer paint, and I just don't unload too much paint. And then you can create tiny dots without pressuring too much. See? Yeah, so I think what I will do off camera in next week, I'm gonna have it ready for you, is the second hand of paint of these petals. See? And yeah, I think that, see, so these are ideas. You can try these with different colors. I want to show you pretty quickly what I'm doing with the group in Spanish. And tonight we're gonna have the one in Portuguese. And to me, doing these lives, it's like a sign of good luck for the year. I started working on the Mandala of Confidence when the COVID situation came along, and last year, and in the end, even if we were locked down, 2020 was a good year. So I keep this as a sign of good luck, and I want you to have good luck too. So let's paint this together to have an amazing 2022, full of confidence in ourselves and everything we can give. See, so we can give and we can receive from the universe. Yeah, so this is teeny tiny dots just for the sake of there we go. So this is pretty much how it looks. Well, you will see my dotted pants. Yeah, it looks like this is funny, but in the end we are actually really working self-confidence. We're building confidence in ourselves. I'm not sure this paint is in a good condition for dotting, but you can always add here over the yellow some dots, purple dots, to give some these random dots. They have to be strategically placed and not together. You need to do this like in layers. Wait for it to dry, but then you can always mix a little bit of the flower color. See, teeny tiny dots here over the yellow, and there are some tiny details to be added here. The only thing I'm gonna keep next week, keep this part all ready for you, for us. And also I'm gonna have a second layer of this paint over these flowers. Let me show you the combo color also for the Brazilian. See, we can we can do these tiny details. See, it's a different color set, but you can see the sequence. Like I have pink, I jump to purple, pink, yellow, purple, and then blue, blue, blue. See, in here I had this green. I didn't repeat it in here, to be very honest with you, but I have blue, blue, blue. See, and what else? And I use the yellow, the cream, and the red from the flower. So you can always play a little bit with all these details to get a nice combo color. So next week, I think we're gonna finish all dotting and we're gonna be all set for a good year, for an amazing year full of confidence. You can tag my work in your work. You can tag us, tag Mandalas for Fun 7. Now we have a 7. And see, it looks nice. We can do other things here next week. Let me show you. I hope you do enjoy these lessons. Last week it was dreadful. You have no idea, my phone dropped twice. So if you get to look last week tutorial, forgive me and be patient with me, because I don't know what happened. It was all about good energy, but all of the sudden my camera dropped twice. Listen, last but not least, we have a great study group for the karmas. We have studied numerology. We created, my ladies are creating these arts. that is related to the archetype of the sun, related to the first karma. And in February, it's not ready yet, but I want to show you, we're going to work on the second karma, that is dependency. We're going to be working out this geometry that is a little bit more complicated, but I promise that I have a good method of teaching. So if you still want to join our study group, you may do so. Later on, I will leave the details here. My students have gotten a bonus that I'm still working on, but soon will be in the class. That is the solar stone for karma number 1. And I'm still working on this one for karma number 2. And the fun thing is that we are a community. We get together once a month. We're studying, discussing. And I hope this looks nice to you if you want to study a little bit of numerology and how to use and know how to use that knowledge to create a sacred geometry mandala and the interpretation of the numerology in your name. Join us. It's pretty cool. Lots of love. I hope you do enjoy these classes. So see you next week at the same time here for our full dotting session. Bye.